Hello friends, today we're going to talk about solving a system of equation by substitution. So you can see the steps up here. Step 1, solve one of the equations for either variable. So that means either get x or y by itself. Substitute the expression from step 1 into the other equation. Solve that equation. After step 2, you should only have one variable, either just x's or just y's in that equation. You'll solve for that. And then when you get that variable, you'll plug it back into one of the other equations, and then that will be your final answer. So for here, we have both of these have y by themselves. So I'm going to take this and substitute it into y in the second equation. So instead of y equals negative 4x plus 7, I'm going to say negative 2x plus 3 equals negative 4x plus 7. So here step 1 was done for us. This is step 2 that I just wrote in orange. Notice that I only have x's now. I'm going to solve this equation for x. So add 4x, 2x plus 3 equals 7. Take 3 from both sides. 2x equals 4. And then divide by 2, and x is 2. Now to find y, I can plug it into either one of the equations. I'm going to plug it into the first equation. Now I know that x is 2. So y, instead of negative 2x, I can say negative 2 times 2 plus 3, which is negative 1. So our final answer is 2, negative 1. If I wanted to check my answers, I could plug x and y into my original equations here and make sure that it works. Our second equation here, step 1 again is done for us. Y is already by itself in its second equation. So I'm going to take this negative 4x plus 24 and plug it in for y. So 5x minus, instead of 7y, I know that y is negative 4x plus 24 equals negative 3. So again, I took negative 4x plus 24 and plugged it in for y. So now simplifying this, notice again I only have x's now. 5x minus negative 7 times negative 4x is positive 28x. And then negative 7 times 24 is negative 168 equals negative 3. This ends up being 33x. Take away 168 is negative 3. Adding 168 to both sides, I get 33x is 165, and then dividing both sides by 33, I would get x is 5. Now I need to find y. I'm going to plug it into that second equation because y is already by itself. Now I know x is 5, so instead of y equals negative 4x plus 24, we'll say y equals negative 4 times 5 plus 24, which gives us 4. So our final answer then is 5, 4. Sometimes neither x or y will be by itself, so you have to kind of manipulate one of the equations to get x or y by itself. Either one of these equations will work. My first equation, I would just need to take away 2x from both sides to get y by itself. My second equation, I would need to add 2y to both sides to get x by itself. So I'm going to do that to the second equation. I'm going to get x by itself. So add 2y to both sides. So x equals 2y plus 6. Now I'm going to take this 2y plus 6 and plug it into x into my first equation. We can't plug it into the second equation because what I have written in green is the second equation. So I have to do it back in the first equation. So this technically is step 1, what I did in green. Step 2 is going to be what I'm doing in purple. So 2 times 2y plus 6 plus y is 7. Again, this 2y plus 6 came from what I had written in green. Simplifying this, 2 times 2y is 4y. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus y is 7. Again, notice in step 2, which is written in purple, now I only have one variable. I only have the y's. 4y and y is 5y. Plus 12 is 7. Taking 12 from both sides. 5y is negative 5. And dividing by 5, we get y is negative 1. Now to find x, I'm going to plug it into my green equation here. X is 2y plus 6, but I know y is negative 1. So 2 times negative 1 plus 6, which means x is 4. So our final answer, 4 comma negative 1. All right, and one more. Again, I could take my first equation and get y by itself very easily, or take my second equation and get x by itself very easily. I'm going to use the second equation and get x by itself. So subtract 3y. X equals negative 3y plus 9. So that's my step 1. Step 2, I'm going to take this and plug it in for x into my first equation. So negative 2 times 3y plus 9 plus y is negative 11. Again, the 3y plus 9 came from my blue step there. Now I only have y's, which is good. Distributing here, negative 6y minus 18 plus y is negative 11. Negative 6y plus y is negative 5y. Take away 18 is negative 11. Oh, I made a little mistake here, didn't I? It's negative 3y, which makes this positive 6y, which makes this positive 7. There we go. Adding 18 to both sides. 7y is 7. And then dividing both sides by 7, we'll get that y is 1. Now to find x, I'm going to plug it into my blue equation. Plug in y equals 1. So negative 3 times 1 plus 9, which is 6. So my final answer, 6 comma 1. All right, have a nice day.